Yeah.
Distribution list.
All right, we'll call the regular meeting of council for the city of Kenora to order. This time I'd ask we all rise and Councillor Poirier will do the blessing.
Thank you, Your Worship. As we gather, we recognize that we are on Treaty 3 lands which are steeped in rich Indigenous history and home to many First Nations and Métis people today. We continue to be thankful for the partnerships with our Indigenous people. We give thanks to the many blessings we enjoy in the city of Kenora. We seek wisdom in our minds, clearness in our thinking, truth in our speaking, and always love in our hearts so that we may try always to unite the citizens of Kenora. Let these principles guide us in our decision making.
Thank you, Councillor. Public information notices. As required under Notice Bylaw 144-2007, the public is advised of Council's intention to adopt the following at today's meeting. Council will amend their October meeting schedule to reflect the October Committee of the Whole date being October 3rd at 9 a.m. and October 7th as Council at 12 noon. Council will receive the report of the CAO for expenditures during the lame duck period. This time I'd ask if any member of council wishes to declare a pecuniary interest in the general nature thereof pertaining to items either on today's agenda or from a previous meeting or from a meeting in which a member was not in attendance. Seeing none. We have no presentations and deputations. Oh, I'm sorry. I'd ask for the reading of resolution number 1, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. Resolution number 1, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Chase, that the following minutes of the Council of the City of Kenora be adopted as circulated. Regular Council, August 9, 2022.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Presentations and deputations, we have none. Additions to the agenda, we have none. Appointments, there are none. At this time, I'd ask for the reading of resolution number 2, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'm moving resolution number 2, and it's seconded by Councillor McMillan, that Council of the City of Kenora hereby accepts the 2022 second quarter investment report that includes details of the Kenora Citizens Prosperity Trust Fund and general City of Kenora investments.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Resolution number 3.
Your Worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Poirier, that Council hereby accepts the monthly financial statements of the Corporation of the City of Kenora at July 31st, 2022.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Resolution number 4.
Resolution number 4, Your Worship, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Chase, that Council gives 3 readings to a Joint Compliance Audit Committee, terms of reference for the 2018-2022 term of Council bylaw, and further that this regional joint committee includes partnerships with the cities of Dryden and Kenora, the municipalities of Machen, Red Lake, and Sioux Lookout, and the townships of Ear Falls, Ignace, and Pickle Lake, and further that the regional participating clerks are hereby delegated the joint authority to make the appointments to the committee through mutual consensus.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Resolution number 5, please.
Resolution number 5, Your Worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Poirier, that Council hereby amends the 2022 Council meeting calendar to reflect the October Committee of the Whole meeting date be rescheduled to Monday, October 3rd, and the October Council meeting rescheduled to Friday, October 7th, 2022, and further that in accordance with Notice Bylaw number 144-2007, public notice is hereby given that Council intends to amend their October meeting dates to October 3 and October 7.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion's carried. Resolution number 6, please.
Resolution number 6, Your Worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Poirier. Whereas the Federal Electoral Boundaries Commission for the Province of Ontario has proposed a new electoral map that would cut the number of federal election districts in Northern Ontario from 10 to 9, and whereas the Constitution of Canada requires that the federal electoral districts be reviewed every 10 years, And whereas the most significant change would see the two largest ratings in the far north, Kenora and Timmins, James Bay, amended and combined into one massive riding called Kiwetun-Mushkawak, sorry about that, spanning from the Manitoba border to Quebec, and Kenora's current riding boundary readjusted dramatically and combined with Thunder Bay Rainy River with further significant changes to the Thunder Bay Superior North and Algoma Manitoulin Kapuskasing boundaries. And whereas the land mass size of the new Kenora Thunder Bay Rainy River riding would make it virtually ungovernable and ultimately infringe on the democratic rights of Northerners. And whereas our region has diverse and unique interests which are quite different from one another and therefore deserve adequate diverse representation in Ottawa. And whereas the legislation would in fact support, according to the population quota to be applied by the Commission, a reduction of 2, but the Commission has recommended 1. And whereas the Kenora District was deemed an extraordinary circumstance in 2012 during the last boundary review, and because of which it was not revised at that time, and now therefore be it resolved that Council of the Corporation of the City of Kenora strongly opposes the proposed reduction of northern ridings and representatives, and further that the City of Kenora calls upon the Federal Electoral Boundary Commission to consider the vast land mass that already exists within our electoral boundary and refrain from extending any boundary which reduces northern ridings and representatives. And further, that further consideration be given to the uniqueness of Northwest Ontario, especially smaller municipalities in the north, and expanding this boundary provides for further imperiled and underrepresented by so many seats. And further, that copies of this resolution be forwarded to Eric Nalilo, MP, Kenora Riding, the Federal Electoral Boundaries Commission for Ontario, the Kenora District Municipal Association, the Rainy River District Municipal Association Grand Chief Francis Kavanagh, Grand Council Treaty 3, and the Northwest Ontario Municipal Association.
All in favor? Opposed? Resolution's carried. Thank you, Councillor. Resolution number 7, please.
Your worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Chase, that 3 readings be given to a bylaw to adopt the new disconnect from work policy number HR-2-18 in accordance with the Employment Standards Act 2000 ESA, and further that policy number HR-2-18 form part of the city's comprehensive policy manual.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion's carried. Resolution number 8, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. I have moved resolution number 8, seconded by Councillor Poirier, that the city policy HR 1-2 that forms part of the comprehensive city policy manual be hereby repealed, and further that 3 readings be given to bylaw for this purpose.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion's carried. Resolution number 9.
Your Worship, resolution number 9, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Van Willingham, that the city policy number ES-1-1 that forms part of the comprehensive city policy manual be hereby repealed, and further that 3 readings be given to a bylaw for this purpose.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Resolution number 10, please.
Resolution number 10, Your Worship, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Chase, that Council hereby authorizes the Mayor and Clerk to enter into an extended lease agreement between the Corporation of the City of Kenora and the medical professionals representing the Keewatin Medical Clinic for the term ending September 30th, 2027 for the municipal property located at 904 Ottawa Street, legally described as Plan 18, Block 50, Part Lot 2, and all Lots 3 and 4, and further that 3 readings be given to a bylaw for this purpose.
All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. Resolution number 11.
Resolution number 11, Your Worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Chase, that council gives 3 readings to a bylaw authorizing an agreement between the Corporation of the City of Kenora and Chad Gropp for the purpose of providing food and beverages services in the Kenora Recreation Concession for the term October 1, 2022 to August 31, 2025.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Resolution number 12.
Resolution number 12, your worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Chase, that council approve a submission to the Réseau du Nord call for proposals to select communities that are wishing to develop their immigration capacity in Northern Ontario.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion's carried. Resolution number 13.
Your worship, resolution number 13, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Chase, that the application for zoning bylaw amendment file number D14-22-06 to seek relief from the regulations of the GC General Commercial Zone by amending zoning to GC 54 General Commercial Exception 54 Zone should be approved with an amendment to the proposed reduction in required parking to 1.0 parking space per dwelling unit, with the approved exceptions being, number 1, to permit the location of a dwelling unit on the ground floor of a multi-story building. Number 2, to permit the location of a commercial use on the 4th floor. Number 3, to reduce the number of required parking spaces from 1.5 parking spaces plus 0.2 visitor parking spaces per dwelling unit, total of 1.7 parking spaces per unit, to 1 parking spaces per unit. And number 4, to increase the maximum permitted height or building height from 11.0 meters to 13.9 meters. That council gives 3 readings to a bylaw to that effect.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Resolution number 14.
Thank you, Your Worship. I move resolution number 14, seconded by Councillor Poirier, that Council of the City of Kenora hereby accepts the May, June, and July 2022 Kenora Water and Wastewater Systems Monthly Summary Reports as prepared by City Administration.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Resolution number 15.
Your worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Chase, that the mayor and clerk be hereby authorized to execute the following agreements on behalf of the Corporation of the City of Kenora. Site plan agreement KDSB-10 Matheson Street South, amended subordination and postponement agreement Synergy North, services agreement, performance sponsorship group, recreation advertising, contract agreement Sierra Construction McLeod Park upgrades, agreement NOHFC docking remedial works, agreement NOHFC Kuwait Memorial Arena works, agreement NOHFC ball diamond upgrades, agreement NOHFC beach upgrades, agreement NOHFC project date change Rotary Peace Park project, and that 3 readings be given to bylaws for this purpose.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion's carried. Resolution number 16.
Resolution number 16, Your Worship, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Poirier, that council hereby receives a report of the CAO for expenditures authorized by the CAO under bylaw number 58-2022 during the lame duck period of council, and further that in accordance with notice bylaw number 144, 2007, public notice is hereby given that council received this report at their September 20, 2022 meeting of council, which outlined the expenditures in a public meeting.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Resolution number 17.
Resolution number 17, Your Worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Van Wallaham, that the following bylaws be now read a first and second time and approved in their present form and presented for 3rd and final reading. 122-2022 confirmatory. 123-2022 Joint Elections Compliance Audit Committee. 124-2022 disconnect from work policy HR 2-18. 125-2022, repeal city policy HR 1-2 and ES-1-1. 126-2022, 904 Ottawa Street lease renewal. 127-2022, Chad Gropp contract agreement, Kenora Recreation Center concession. 128-2022, zoning bylaw amendment D 14-22-06, 216 Matheson Street South. 129-2022, agreement NOHFC, docking remedial works. 130-2022, agreement NOHFC, Keewatin Memorial Arena works. 131-2022, agreement NOHFC, Ball Diamonds upgrades. 132-2022, agreement NOHFC, beach upgrades. 133-2022, agreement NOHFC, project date change number 7510074. 134-2022, site plan agreement, KDSB, 10 Matheson Street South. Excuse me. 135-2022, amended subordination and postponement agreement, Synergy North. 136-2022, services agreement, performance sponsorship group, recreation. 137-2022, contract agreement, Sierra Construction, McCullough Park upgrades.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Notices of motion, we have none. Proclamations. Franco-Ontarian Day, September 25th, 2022. Whereas by virtue of the Franco-Ontarian Day Act, which was legislated on April 26, 2010, it is declared that September 25th of each year be recognized as Franco-Ontarian Day throughout the province of Ontario. And whereas September 25th is the anniversary of the first raising of the Franco-Ontarian flag, and it represents over 400 years of French presence in Ontario, and whereas there are more than 745,000 Francophones in Ontario, the largest Francophone community outside of Quebec, and whereas Franco-Ontarian Day has become an annual occasion to celebrate the Francophone community, now, therefore, I, Daniel Raynard, Mayor for the City of Kenora, do hereby proclaim September 25th, 2022 as Franco-Ontario Day in and for the City of Kenora. Proclaim the City of Kenora this 20th day of September 2022. Rail Safety Week, September 19th through 25th, 2022. Whereas Rail Safety Week is to be held across Canada from September 19th to 25th, 2022. And whereas it is in the public's interest to raise citizens' awareness of the dangers of ignoring safety warnings at level crossings and trespassing on rail property to reduce avoidable deaths, injuries, and damage caused by incidents involving trains and citizens. Whereas Operation Lifesaver is a public-private partnership whose aim is to work with the public, rail industry, governments, police services, media, and others to raise rail safety awareness. Whereas CN has requested City Council to adopt this resolution in support of its ongoing efforts to raise awareness, save lives, and prevent injuries in communities, including our municipality. Therefore, be it resolved that the week of September 19th to 25th, 2022, to be hereby proclaimed as Rail Safety Week in the City of Kenora. Proclaim the City of Kenora this 20th day of September 2022. Proclamation Social Isolation Awareness Month, October 2022. Whereas social isolation has always been known to be a high risk for older adults. However, the pandemic and the need for isolation precautions resulted in the issue being placed front and center nationally and internationally. And whereas social isolation has become the #1 emerging issue for Canadian older adults, is defined as a physical state and involves limited contact with others, few social roles, and an absence of mutually rewarding relationships. And whereas social isolation is often confused with loneliness, but it's different. And whereas loneliness is an emotional state, it is sadness that is felt by someone because they do not have any true friends or do not have anyone to talk to. You can be lonely in a crowd. You can have many friends, but deep down underneath, you still have a sense of loneliness. And whereas loneliness and isolation do often, but not necessarily go hand in hand, one can lead to the other and vice versa. And whereas research tells us in Canadians over the age of 65, 19% felt isolated, 25% wish they could participate in more social activities, 30% are at risk of becoming socially isolated. It's also been told that social connectedness has proven to be vital to seniors' health and well-being. Those with close connections and relationships tend to cope better with health conditions and experience fewer mental health issues such as depression. Social isolation can cause physical risk and put seniors at increased risk of elder abuse. Whereas recent studies have shown that social isolation is 2 times more deadly than obesity, leading to diabetes, where social isolation increases your chance for early death similar to smoking 15 cigarettes a day, and where it is important to realize that social isolation is a serious, potentially life-shortening phenomenon, not simply that there may be older people who are alone or lonely. There are many contributing factors. Therefore, be it resolved that the month of October 2022 is hereby proclaimed as Social Isolation Awareness Month in the City of Kenora. Proclaimed at the City of Kenora this 20th day of September 2022. Announcements, we'll go around the table and we'll start with Councillor Van Wellingham.
I have nothing today, thanks.
Councillor Goss.
I'd like to remind people that the municipal election is almost upon us. Voting begins by mail or telephone October 11th, and there's plenty of information at the website kenoravotes.ca. I encourage everyone to stand up and be heard.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Smith.
Nothing today, thank you.
Councillor Poirier.
Thank you, Your Worship. I actually have a presentation today to a fellow councillor. So as we all know, our friend and colleague, councillor colleague, Rory McMillan is retiring from municipal politics at the end of this term. But true to form for Rory, it didn't take him long to fill that void and find another way to participate in our community and to represent citizens of the City of Kenora in the education sector. So I'm asking you, Rory, on November 14th at midnight to put down your municipal act. And what I'd like to do is present you with a copy of the Education Act.
That's an easy read.
I would make a comment about that right now.
I had to, Rory, I had to.
Councillor Chase.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'm unable to attend our Committee of the Whole and Council meetings next month. Therefore, this is my last meeting for this term of council. So at this time, I wanted to thank you, Your Worship, and my council colleagues for giving me the opportunity and appointing me to this role. It's been an absolute honor and privilege to serve the citizens of Kenora, and also extend sincere thanks to Kyle, our CAO, and members of the senior leadership team. Working with you guys has been amazing and fun and a big learning experience for me. So thank everyone for allowing me and working with me. And also a special shout out to Councillors Van Wellingham and Councillor McMillan for your years of service. You guys are both stepping away from politics. Your example, your leadership, your professionalism, your friendship has been really appreciated by me as I've been doing this role. So thank you both, and that's it for today. Thanks.
All right, I'll go next because we're going to save the best for last. So again, following up on Councillor Poirier and then Councillor Chase, it has been, there are people who are going to be leaving this table, and Chris, why anybody would come back twice, I'm not really sure, but thank you very much for the last 4 years. And Councillor McMillan, you've been, I know you've been a role model to me. Appreciate that. We're very lucky, the citizens of Kenora have been very lucky for your commitment, your passion, regardless of the situation. You have been a role model, and you will be missed here, but I'm sure knowing you, as Councillor Poirier's pointed out, you already have plans. So thank you very much for everything that you've contributed to our municipality over what seems, I want to say since I came out of college, but I know it's not that long.
I think you were in high school. So.
I joked with Rory. So, Councillor McMillan, thank you, and seeing as this is your last official meeting when we're all together, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I think I'll have to put aside my James Patterson books for a while and get into that one. But I made some notes because if I don't, I'll ramble and I'll get emotional, which I likely will anyway. But as a member of City of Kenora Council, I've had the good fortune to work with many great men and women who have served our city as councillors and mayors over the years, and I of course include the present council members. And to my colleagues around the table, you've brought your individual skill sets and your experience to the table, and we've all been like a microcosm of the community, and you've all committed to working to move our city forward, and I've learned from you and very much appreciate that. And I don't know, Heather, if I'm out of line if I make a couple of political comments, but to each of you that are running, I really wish you well, and to those members in the community that have stepped forward, I wish you as well. And Dan is. I want to thank you for your leadership over the past term. There have been some tumultuous times, and as a result of the pandemic, and you continue to lead our city forward. And I think in many ways there were some comments and criticisms that you took that were very much unwarranted, and you managed to put your leadership skills into place, and you built a team by recognizing all our individual skills and talents, and you built a team, and I think that's evidenced in our community today. For our members that are running and for those that get elected, there's clearly and definitely a roadmap that's set out, and if we follow that, or if they follow that, we're going to be a very successful and strong community. And to the citizens of our community that have put their faith in me over the years, I very, very much appreciate that. And I just ask you to, the citizens of our community, to put your support behind the newly elected council and help move things forward. We have a great organization managing our city, and I want to thank all city staff for their dedication and hard work and making our city a great place to live. I have had the good fortune of working with some great people. And I'm truly going to miss those interactions, so Heather, I hope you don't mind if I pop into the City Hall once in a while. And if you see me wandering back to the coffee room, I know I'm violating something, so. But I'm going to miss these interactions, and I've formed some very valuable relationships, and I am going to treasure those very much. And this community, I believe, is one of the best places to live, work, and play. And I stand very proud of the colleagues I've served with, and Dan as you as leader, and Heather as you kind of are my beacon, and to my colleagues on management and staff, thank you. I better sit down now.
Thank you, Rory. This time we call for resolution number 18, please.
Resolution number 18, your worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Chase, that pursuant to section 239 of the Municipal Act as amended, authorization is hereby given for council to move into a closed session at 12:30 p.m. to discuss items pertaining to the following: education and training members of council, 2 matters, CAO and mayor update.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. We are adjourned.